It is finally time. We finally get the official version of World of Warcraft Classic Plus from Blizzard. That's what recent leaks and actions all point towards. 5 of the biggest content creators got recently invited to Blizzard's headquarters in Irvine, California this month, all under NDA for a 3-day event. And not a single one of them is allowed to tell you what they saw. Today, I'm going to walk you through everything regarding Classic Plus, the confirmed facts, the leaks and the rumors. By the end of this video, you will have the clearest picture available right now of what World of Warcraft Classic Plus actually might be and when we can play it. Let's get into it. So, where we are right now. As of right now, World of Warcraft TBC Anniversary started with a lot of players, but the typical drop of interest happened. Season of Discovery gets new traction at the moment, at least from the community who tried to revive it as sort of a waiting room for Classic Plus. And Activision Blizzard performed one of the hardest hits against the private server community by killing off Turtle WoW, one of the best unofficial Classic Plus experiences which we had. This leaves a big hole in the hearts of World of Warcraft Classic Plus enjoyers. And they probably did this for a reason. They tried to remove their competition because they are planning the release of their own version of World of Warcraft Classic Plus. This pattern happened before, in the time between 2015 and 2019. At this time, only World of Warcraft Retail was available. Players were asking for years to get a re-release of vanilla World of Warcraft back in the day.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
The private server Nostalrius took things into their own hands and released a really great vanilla server, which the community loved. Blizzard took them to court and killed the server off. The project was re-released under another name with other devs, but it never recovered from the damage done. A few years later, Blizzard released their own version of World of Warcraft Classic.
For some of you, your favorite flavor is vanilla. We have vanilla ice cream for sale in the WoW concessions area.
I don't know about you, but I can clearly see a pattern here. The current classic cycle is approaching its natural end, and Blizzard has, according to what we are about to cover, been planning for what comes after. Before we get to the juicy leaks, let's go through what Blizzard itself has actually said already, because the trail is a bit longer than most people realize. In January 2025, World of Warcraft executive producer Holly Longdale published a blog post called A Word on World of Warcraft. In the classic section, she wrote, and this is a direct quote, that the team was cooking up new adventures for wherever your journey takes you in Azeroth, and that they plan to experiment with new ideas to invigorate and bring new twists to Azeroth. At the time, people read that as standard PR language. Looking back, that word cooking was the first domino. 11 months later, Blizzard published their annual year in review. In the Season of Discovery section, there is a line that reads, "Season of Discovery wound down with a bang in the Scarlet Enclave as we got cooking on the long-term future of WoW Classic," followed by 2 eyes emoji, and in the yearbook artwork, sketched in the margin, a row of plus signs. Plus, plus, plus.
It's not all we're cooking up. I can say with confidence that all Classic players across the globe have a lot to look forward to. I'm really excited to announce that... I guess we'll save that for later.
And then, of course, we have the end of Turtle WoW. Rest in peace. So, let's talk about what actually started this current wave. In late April 2026, Dayu is live on Twitch. Mid-session, he drops this.
I did just get approval to say that I will be gone a little bit next week. Bad news. Because I am visiting Blizzard next week. Good news. For something that I cannot say, but I will be there. And I just got permission to say that. I can't say what it's for, but I will be visiting Blizzard
His chat immediately flutes with Classic Plus spam. He grins. He says nothing else. PC Gamer's Tyler Wilde described that smile as effectively a hit by itself. Within days, the full picture emerged. WoW had confirmed that alongside Xayu, also other content creators like Sodapoppin, Asphalt, Gusu, and Savix were also at Blizzard's Irvine campus. Multiple outlets, PC Gamer, GamesRadar, Escapist, Icy Veins, and so on, all published within a 72-hour window. And here's what makes this significant. Every single creator on the list is exclusively Classic focused on their content. This was not a general WoW summit, retail creators were not invited. This event was built around the Classic community specifically. The Escapist made a point that I think is the most important context for everything we are discussing right now. In 2019, right before World of Warcraft Classic launched, Blizzard ran an NDA Creator Summit as well, nearly identical format. The NDA lifted roughly a month later. The game launched in August that year. We are sitting in the same window right now. If the pattern repeats, Summer Game Fest in June 2026 would be the NDA lift moment, with BlizzCon on September 12th and 13th as the full formal reveal. But before we continue, I want to present to you a new partner on this channel, Into DM. Into DM is a team of American artists and creators who develop clothing since 2012 with a great vision. They see clothing as a canvas to express what drives you. What exactly does that mean? Into DM sells clothes for gamers with unique designs. But they are also great for casual occasions. I was able to pick out a few items from the selection and decided on a snapback cap, this cool black t-shirt with a Japanese design, and a casual white t-shirt with a logo. I will wear the black t-shirt in the summer, and the plain white t-shirt pairs great with sweaters or jackets when I go out with my wife. The clothes are high quality, well designed, and really comfortable. I'm absolutely impressed by their quality. Check out Into DM and use the code WHITER to get 10% off your order. Just click the link in the video description to get to their shop. If you're ordering from Europe, delivery might take a little longer right now due to customs, so please keep that in mind. For my American viewers, there are absolutely no restrictions. Feel free to check Into DM out to get some great new clothes for the summer. Now, let's go back to the video. And then, of course, there are the leaks. This is pretty standard before such big announcement. I can't tell you if they are true, but I will go through them and tell you my opinion about it. The first leak came on October 2025. An anonymous post appeared on 4chan describing a version of Classic Plus called Infinite Classic Plus. Now, I want to say this plainly before we go through the details. 4chan leaks have a historically poor track record. But with that said, the timing of this leak, combined with everything else we have covered, is why people are paying attention to it, of course. The Infinite Classic Plus model. According to the leak, Infinite Classic Plus would be a seasonal experience. It shall play in an alternate timeline manipulated by the Infinite Dragonflight with new content, redesigned zones, and a new progression system. The latest content requires a season pass on top of your standard subscription, similar to a battle pass. Content older than roughly 12 months reverts to being included in the base sub. This is the part that already generated significant backlash on Reddit Classic WoW. A lot of players drew a hard line. They will not pay a subscription and a separate seasonal pass for Classic content. That's a real sentiment worth noting because Blizzard has to know it's coming. The Spellblade. The leak describes a new class called the Spellblade, a mini magic hybrid. Male armor wearer, available to Blood Elves, Night Elves, humans, and undead. 3 specializations: Abjuration as tank, Blood as healer, and Spellbreaking as DPS. For lore connection, the Blood Elf Spellbreakers and Cinderai tradition of Spellblade combat goes back to Warcraft 3. Whether Blizzard would actually introduce a new class from day one of Classic Plus is a legitimate debate. The purist faction of the Classic community is deeply uncomfortable with this idea. Blood Elves shall be playable as a neutral race, which can decide to join either Alliance or Horde, same as Pandarian in Mists of Pandaria. There shall also be new zones like Ruins of Kelt Halas and a draconic area called Ulm, reminding of Uldum. Furthermore, according to the leak, Mists of Pandaria Classic is the last Classic expansion. There will be no Warlords of Draenor Classic because WOD's disastrous launch is what triggered the Nostalrius wave in the first place back in the day, and really no one liked Warlords of Draenor. After Mist of Pandaria Classic concludes, the leak says characters will be able to transfer to retail when Midnight Patch 12.1 drops, or remain on permanent MOP era servers. Anniversary TBC rolls forward onto Wrath era servers, Hardcore TBC progresses into Wrath of the Lich King Hardcore, and there shall also be a fast-tracked Season of Discovery reboot with a compressed timeline. I will tell you my opinion about this later on. Let's get into the more juicy leaks. There is a second leak in circulation, which just recently came out from 4chan as well. This leak describes Classic Plus as a full expansion, same price point as a modern World of Warcraft expansion, subscription on top, no additional seasonal fee. They talk about a BlizzCon 2026 announcement with a 2027 launch window. According to this leak, Classic Plus launches with 2 new playable races, High Elves for the Alliance and Amani Forest Trolls for the Horde. Both fit the timeline. Both would get their own starting zones, level 1 through 18, and their own capital cities. Ghostlands is described as a new contested zone for the 18 to 20 bracket, sitting between the 2 new racial starting experiences. There shall also be complete new zones and raids. 2 major new zones at launch, Mount Hyjal as a level 55 to 60 endgame zone, and Dragonmoor Foothills near Grimbatol, targeting the 30 to 40 range. Additionally, new quest hubs are described for existing zones, Barallas, Alterac Mountain, Silverpine Forest, Blasted Lands. For raids, the leak is specific. The pre-raid dungeon is the Karasan Crypts, pulled directly from Season of Discovery, positioned like UVRS as the entry point. Phase 1 raid, Grimbatol. Phase 2, a brand new Naga raid in Ashara, and in later phases, Karasan in the TBC version, making its return scaled to level 60. The loot philosophy is described as horizontal. Old raids remain relevant through a trade chest and slot mechanic, though nothing gets deprecated the moment a new tier drops. There shall also be a new profession. Dual crafting returns, simplified compared to TBC. Gem sockets on necklaces and rings only, and the gems themselves aren't just stat sticks like in TBC. They are described as having unique enchant-like effects. Dual crafters can also add sockets to existing necklaces and rings. The most ambitious part of this leak centers around PvP. There are 3 separate PvP systems described here. First, the Drums of War. Every week, players are called to raid enemy capital cities. Faction leaders drop massive honor and a legendary weapon. Sylvanas drops her bow, Karn drops a totem, Magni drops a hammer and axe, Bolvar a sword and shield, Thrall a spellcaster weapon. This is the kind of system that actually makes World PvP feel like it has stakes. Second, Ashara Crater, a new open-world PvP zone built specifically around small-scale skirmishes. Rotating objectives spread far apart to prevent one raid from controlling everything. Resources like Black Lotus, rich thorium veins, and high-level fishing pools as rewards. The objectives generate a currency called Ashara Dust, used for PvP items and consumables. No deathballing, the design philosophy is explicitly anti-Thurk. Third, a new dueling system built around a secret assassin society. A full quest chain to unlock it, reputation to grind, and weekly rotating duel locations around the world. The Colosseum and Farallas, the Arena and Diamol, the Tower and Deadwind Pass. When a duel starts, every other player in the area fades out, though there is no chance for griefing or distractions. Those shall be ranked duels, best of 3, with a 30-second reset between rounds. And then, of course, class changes. The league list changes across most classes and crucially frames them as still being tested. For example, Paladins get Crusader Strike and a reworked AoE taunt that reduces target damage. Enhancement Shamans get a tank spec and a 2-handed damage focus. Hunters get a large stable exotic pet options, including raid bosses, and, also pretty cool, their ability to enchant their own arrows. Fire arrow, poison arrow, cold arrow, and so on. Rogues get Mutilate as a stealth ambush and a new Venomous Strike combo builder. druids get a reworked moonkin form in the talent tree, and mages get a full arcane revamp build around a sort of support style gameplay. And all of that is noted as still being tested and developed. So, my opinion about those leaks: the second leak sounds way better than the first one. I think it has some really great ideas in it, but it also reads a lot like fanfiction. I absolutely hope the class changes are real, and also the PvP changes sound awesome. I would love to see that in game for sure. Dual crafting sounds reasonable, especially with the suggested options. New raids and zones are great, and those horizontal content will make or break Classic Plus. Total WoW excealed here with new zones and raids, and those must be a part of the upcoming official Classic Plus as well. But to be honest, those leaks could also easily be written by AI, so we really shouldn't take them too seriously. Alright, there is one more thing worth putting on your radar. You probably know in November 2025, Blizzard's partnership with NetEase in China produced a Titan Reforged server that fuses vanilla, TBC and Wrath of the Lich King into an endgame with rescaled 25-man raids, account-wide progression, mixed tier sets and upgradable legendaries. A growing portion of the community believes that whatever Classic Plus ships in the West could look a lot like those Chinese server version of World of Warcraft. It is basically a curated remix of content that already exists. So where does that leave us? Here is what is confirmed. Blizzard held a multi-day NDA event for Classic-focused content creators in May 2026. This was confirmed by Xario and other creators already, as fans showed their photo at Blizzard Campus. Blizzard wrote themselves in their yearbook in 2025 they are cooking on the long-term future of WoW Classic with hand-drawn plus signs. BlizzCon 2026 is real on September 20th and 13th at the Anaheim Convention Center. That is all a documented fact. The leaks are not really looking viable in my opinion. A Spellblade as a class sounds like complete BS in my opinion. Should we really see a new class, it probably will be a Tinker. That's what other private servers already showed, and it makes sense lore-wise and to fulfill community wishes. Blizzard is not known to fulfill them, but I can still hope, I guess. My personal guess for Classic Plus is they will implement everything they learned from Season of Discovery and Titanforge and will copy content from Total WoW. Everything which worked well, like cool class design from SOD, probably a bit toned down, raids from Titanforge, and zones and open world from Total WoW. Nothing is really confirmed yet, but it all really looks like we will get an announcement for Classic Plus this year on BlizzCon. Will it be as good as Total WoW was? Maybe. I will try it out for sure, because I'm really looking for a WoW place which is not dying every year. But also, my trust in Activision Blizzard is at the lowest level it ever was, and I really hope they don't F this up. Let me know what you think about official Classic Plus, and drop your predictions about it in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this useful, consider to like, subscribe and hype this video for more World of Warcraft content in the future. Special thanks goes out to my channel members who support me with their hard-earned real-life money, especially Jake Collis for being a high-tier supporter.